Hello everyone, so today I'm going to be doing some reviews on some cookbooks that I've recently bought. All of these cookbooks are vegan cookbooks and I've just collected them over the past month. I kind of started getting an interest into eating more vegan and plant-based since I got Naomi Smart's cookbook Eat Smart on Christmas. I just find it so much fun to cook vegan, and by the way, I'm not vegan, I'm just a vegetarian, but I just find it so much fun to follow the recipes in these books and just get some new ideas. And what I've realized is that every single one of these recipes that I've made in these books are so good. Like, you don't really realize that there's so much more that you can do with food until you read these types of books where they're using ingredients that you normally wouldn't buy at the store. You just kind of have to look for them. They are at specific stores, just they're a little tougher to find than your normal ingredients. So I'm going to be doing reviews on 3 cookbooks. Eat Smart by Naomi Smart, Oh She Glows by Angela Liddon, and The Minimalist Baker's Everyday Baking by Dana Schultz. So first of all, I'm going to be talking about Eat Smart by Naomi Smart. What I really loved about this book was the introduction. That was the first thing that I kind of looked at when I opened the book. I read that the first day that I got it, and I was just really inspired by it. She splits it up into sections. There's even a section about exercise, which I find is really cool because she incorporated that into her cookbook. I also think that the photography makes the book even nicer to look at. The photography is just so nice and pretty looking that it makes you want to cook even more. In this book, I've actually only made 3 of the recipes. The fruit granola, the cheesy pasta bake, and the raspberry and banana sorbet. I was a little bit nervous to make these recipes. Like, the first one that I made was the cheesy pasta bake, and I wasn't sure if it was actually gonna turn out that good because it's not real cheese. It was made from nutritional yeast, but I was so surprised because I thought it was so good. I'm probably gonna say the word good so many times in this video, just a heads up. Every single one of these recipes that I've made turned out so well, and even my sister loved them as well, and she's a little bit more of a picky eater than me. The only one thing that I would maybe add if she were to make a second cookbook was to maybe add the prep time and the cook time to the corner of the pages, just so that it's a little bit easier to plan my meals that I'm going to make. Alrighty, so the next book that I'm going to be talking about is Oh She Glows by Angela Liddon. I do have both of her cookbooks. So I'm just going to be talking about both of them. Her first one, the Oh She Glows cookbook, in the introduction she talks a lot about her story and her journey and why she's a vegan. What I found super interesting about this and super inspiring was that she used to have an eating disorder. And now she doesn't, and she's a lot better at eating and being a lot healthier. I just found this super inspiring, and all of the meals in this cookbook look super good. I have only made a few of these recipes as well because I kind of want to split up the recipes between all my cookbooks. The recipes that I made from this book are... These are actually from her second book, but I made this veggie burger and it was absolutely amazing. I also made this guacamole, which is definitely the best guacamole I've ever had, and the 6 vegetable and cheese soup, which was superb. And what I find super cool about both of her books is that she mentions that she tested out all of her recipes on her husband and on her family, who all eat meat, and she made sure that they all loved them as well before putting them into her cookbooks. And the last book that I'm going to be talking about is the Minimalist Baker's Everyday Cooking. Now, I haven't actually tested out any of the recipes from this book, so I'm just gonna kind of talk about what I've seen so far from looking through this book. The first thing that I noticed from this book is that there are a ton of different kinds of recipes. There's a huge variety, so I'm sure that there's something in here for everybody and that everybody will like. I noticed that in her breakfast section, there's a lot more different things than there are in these other 3 books. I noticed that in her book, there's pancake recipes, waffle recipes, while in the other books, it kind of stays more towards like oatmeal and smoothies and that sort of thing. In this book, what's also interesting is that she has a whole section on beverages, which I've never really seen in a cookbook, so I find that really cool. Overall, I think that these 4 cookbooks are really good, and I've been cooking from these cookbooks for about the past month, and I've just kind of become obsessed with cooking because of these cookbooks. So if you're kind of looking for a hobby, I would recommend getting a new cookbook and starting to cook more and see if you like it, because I'm obsessed with it. I just find it so much fun, and it's just something to do when you're bored or if you're hungry. I was talking to my mom about what she likes the best about cooking vegan, and she said that she likes how there's a huge variety of different ingredients, and the different ingredients aren't that hard to find. What I also love is that what I'm cooking, I know that it's good for me and it's good for everybody else that I'm feeding as well. All of these things in the cookbooks aren't things that you can normally find at restaurants or at the supermarket. So it's just really fun to make these things that you normally don't see. Also, you use a lot of different spices. In the Osha Glow's cookbook, she makes a 9-spice mix, and I'm absolutely obsessed with it. So if you want to see me maybe cooking some of these recipes or some recommendations on specific recipes in these cookbooks, just comment that down below. And maybe if you have other recommendations on vegan cookbooks or just vegetarian cookbooks that I should try out, then leave those in the comments as well. I hope that you found this video kind of interesting, and I hope you liked it. So I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
No